The day Marcus found his 7-year-old daughter, Lily crying in the gas station bathroom, holding a crumpled note that read, "I can't do this anymore." He made a promise that would change both their lives forever. His wife had left them with nothing but debt, a broken-down truck and the keys to his late grandfather's cabin, a place he'd been told was worthless, rotting somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains. Standing in that fluorescent-lit bathroom, watching his daughter's tears fall onto cheap paper towels, Marcus felt something crack open inside his chest. He was 32 years old, newly unemployed from the factory that had just moved operations overseas, and suddenly the sole parent to a little girl who kept asking when Mommy was coming home. The answer, never, seemed too cruel to say out loud. So instead, he dried her tears, bought her a chocolate bar with his last $5, and made a decision that everyone would call crazy. They were going to the mountain. The cabin, when they finally found it after 3 hours of wrong turns on unmarked dirt roads, was worse than worthless. It was a disaster. The roof had caved in on one side, exposing rotted beams to the sky. Windows were shattered, the porch sagged dangerously, and something, probably raccoons, had made a home in what used to be the kitchen. Lily looked up at him with those big brown eyes, the same eyes her mother had, and asked, "Daddy, are we going to live here?" Marcus wanted to cry. Instead, he smiled. "We're going to make it beautiful, baby girl. You and me." That first night, they slept in the truck with every blanket they owned piled on top of them. Marcus lay awake listening to the mountain sounds, owls hooting, wind rushing through pine trees, the distant call of something wild, and wondered if he'd made the biggest mistake of his life. He had maybe $300 to his name, no job, no plan, and a daughter who deserved so much better than this. But when morning came, something shifted. Lily woke up before him and was already outside, collecting wildflowers in an old coffee can she'd found. The sun was rising over the mountains, painting everything gold and pink, and for the first time in months, his daughter was smiling, really smiling. "Look, Daddy, we can put these inside to make it pretty." That's when Marcus understood. This wasn't about the cabin. It was about giving Lily something her mother's abandonment had stolen, the feeling of home, of safety, of being wanted. So he rolled up his sleeves and got to work. The first weeks were brutal. Marcus taught himself carpentry from library books and YouTube, videos watched on his phone with precious data. Every morning, he'd wake Lily up with pancakes made on a camping stove. Then they'd work together, her little hands passing him nails, her voice counting out loud as he measured boards. Locals who drove by would slow down, shake their heads at the crazy man trying to resurrect the old Harrison place. Then came the day that changed everything. Marcus was on the roof, trying to patch a particularly stubborn hole when he heard voices. An elderly couple had pulled up in a pristine SUV, looking lost. The woman's face was tight with worry. "Excuse me," she called up. "We're looking for a place called Willow Creek Lodge. Our GPS says it's near here, but—" She gestured helplessly at the endless trees. Marcus climbed down, wiping sweat from his face. "That lodge closed down 5 years ago, ma'am. Nearest hotel is about 40 miles back toward town." The woman's face crumpled. Her husband put an arm around her. "We came here for our 30th anniversary," he explained quietly. "Stayed at Willow Creek on our honeymoon. My wife, she's been sick, cancer. We just wanted to see the place one more time." Something in Marcus's chest twisted. He looked at this couple, both probably in their 70s, who'd driven all this way seeking a memory, a moment of peace. Then he looked at his half-finished cabin, at Lily peeking shyly from behind a sawbuck, and he heard himself say something completely insane. "The cabin's not much, but the view's still here. The same mountains, the same creek. Why don't you stay? Just for the night. No charge." They protested, of course. But Marcus insisted, and something in his earnestness, or maybe in his daughter's hopeful face, made them agree. He and Lily spent the afternoon frantically cleaning the one finished room, hanging blankets as curtains, picking more wildflowers. That night, they gave up their sleeping space and returned to the truck. The next morning, Marcus woke to find $500 bills tucked under the truck's windshield wiper, along with a note. "You gave us more than a room. You gave us kindness when the world's been cruel. The mountains are healing because of people like you. Thank you." Lily read the note aloud, stumbling over the bigger words. and asked, "Daddy, what does healing mean?" Marcus looked at his daughter, then at the cabin growing stronger day by day, then at the endless mountains rolling out before them. "It means making broken things whole again, sweetheart." Word spread in the strange way it does in rural communities. The elderly couple told someone at a diner, who told someone at church, who told someone else. Within a month, people started showing up. Not many, just a trickle. People who were tired, heartbroken, lost. People escaping bad divorces, dealing with grief, recovering from illness. People who needed somewhere quiet to remember how to breathe. Marcus never advertised. He never charged set prices. He just worked on the cabin, room by room, and welcomed whoever came. Guests stayed in the finished rooms while he and Lily made do with less. They left donations, $20 here, $100 there, sometimes just groceries or building supplies. A retired contractor showed up one weekend and helped rebuild the entire porch. A nurse recovering from burnout stayed. 2 weeks and planted a garden that still blooms. Lily thrived in ways that broke Marcus's heart and healed it simultaneously. She learned to cook simple meals, to greet guests with her shy smile, to leave little welcome notes on pillows written in her careful second-grade handwriting. She stopped asking about her mother and started talking about our guests and our mountain and our home. The cabin transformed. What had been ruins became a sanctuary. Marcus built a deck overlooking the creek, where people could sit and watch the water. He furnished rooms with second-hand treasures from estate sales. Lily painted a sign that read, "Healing Haven," in bright, crooked letters, and they hung it over the door. 3 years after that first desperate night in the truck, Marcus stood on that same deck with Lily, now 10 years old, confident, radiant. A guest, a young woman recovering from an abusive relationship, was sitting by the creek crying but smiling, surrounded by the peace of the mountains. "We did good, didn't we, Daddy?" Lily whispered. Marcus pulled his daughter close. This miraculous child who'd survived abandonment and poverty and uncertainty, and who'd somehow come out the other side full of compassion and strength. "We did better than good, baby. We learned something important." "What's that?" "Family isn't the people who abandon you. Family is the people you choose to love, the people you choose to help, the strangers you turn into friends. And sometimes the best way to heal yourself is to help heal others." Lily nodded solemnly, then grinned. "Plus, we have the best view in the whole world." They did. And more than that, they'd built something neither money nor blood could buy, a home filled with the kind of love that multiplies when you give it away, a haven where broken people came to remember they were whole, and a testimony to the simple truth that kindness, more than anything, can transform ruins into something beautiful. The cabin on the mountain stood strong, a beacon for the lost, built by the hands of a father who'd had nothing and a daughter who'd given everything, proving that sometimes the family that abandons you leads you to the family you were always meant to find.